to enter a demonic city on the brink of destruction. With criminal elements so insane, even the government has washed its hands completely. These are the stories of Doomtown City with your host, Fox Hayuka Wild.
Yes, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to White Noise. I am your host, Fox Hayuka Wild. That's Trigger.
Yeah, what's up?
That's Ma Deuce.
Yeah, how you doing?
So this episode we were supposed to be discussing Syndicate and Merger. However, it is impossible to discuss that without first going into the Mafia itself.
I mean, on the surface of it, I mean, you might be thinking that the Mafia is just, you know, the Mafia, but it's actually pretty integral to the city. Yeah, I mean, for a city with a population of 1.5 million, I mean, God, it's amazing we managed to squeeze in so many different factions. Yeah, well, I mean, you got the Yakuza here, and you got the Italians, and of course the Russians, but basically any ethnic mob operates in this city. Well, I mean, then you got the white supremacists, and, you know, then the neo-Nazis and the bikie gangs. And don't forget the drug cartels, and your run-of-the-mill street gangs also. And then you got your little mom-and-pop organizations that are just doing, you know, like bookkeeping and stuff like that.
Well, and the interesting thing about the city is not only do they all manage to function together, crammed into this one city, but I mean, they all kind of function as one entirely separate organization in and of itself.
Well, before we launch into that, though, I've got a question.
All right, shoot.
Yeah, where could I find more information on the Mafia if I was so inclined?
I mean, well, you could get on to www.doomtownradio.com and...
Where would you go?
Well, you would go to... You would go to... You would go to...
Oh my God, you didn't put it up on the website yet, did you? Hey, shut up, Trigger. I want to hear him admit it.
I didn't put it up on the site yet.
Yeah, well, surely you had a very good excuse for why you hadn't yet.
No, it's just not up there because I'm a lazy asshole.
Alright, so when are you gonna put it up?
I'll have it up by the next release.
Thank you. Alright, now please continue.
Alright, so anyways, if you were to get on the website and you were to read the entry, it would say the Mafia, rather than one singular entity, is more of a crime conglomerate of several loosely tied organizations. In general, the Mafia is seen as two specific entities, the Italian...
Alright, hold up, brother. I realize that you're trying to be accurate here, but you're not earning your paycheck if you're just reading something that somebody else could read.
They do that on YouTube all the time.
What do you mean?
Basically, every quote-unquote channel on YouTube is basically just some hackneyed loser copying everybody else's comment, infinium, etc., and all ad nauseum.
Oh yeah, and then they put it in a top 10 format.
I know, it's stupid.
Alright, so if it's so stupid, why are you doing it?
Well, because it's my content. No one's ever read it before.
And why has no one read it before?
Because I haven't posted it yet.
And we come full cycle.
Fine, I'm sorry.
Alright, tell you what, we'll meet you halfway. How about we just look at the entry and then kind of discuss the finer points?
I suppose we can do that.
But first of all, I'm sure we have some sort of commercial break we gotta get to.
Yes, we do, and unfortunately this time it's the U.S. Army with its pitch for martial law.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I know, but hey, at least it's not a televangelist.
I think it's a toss-up as to which is worse.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll play the promo and you decide. Keep it here on White Noise.
Attention! I'm Colonel Marcus T. Rigger. Doomtown, you need a hero. You might be thinking you need a winged crusader that shoots webs or throws bat boomerangs or, you know, whatever. But the real solution is simple. Allow the army to institute martial law. Hoo-ha! With the army firmly in control, we will post a mainline battle tank at every major intersection and a platoon of our most trigger-happy infantrymen in every district. First, With these changes implemented, it won't be possible to run a crime syndicate at least after 2,000 hours, because anyone seen outside after 20-30 hours will be shot on sight with extreme prejudiced preserved arms. I'm Colonel Marcus T. Rigger. Service guarantees citizenship.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to White Noise. We're talking about the Mafia, and we're going to kick it off with the history, starting in the 1850s.
The Mafia's been around since the 1850s? I didn't even know that this city's been around that long.
Well, originally the city was funded by a bunch of gold prospectors who named it Boomtown. They ended up moving out. But when the city got a restart in 1858, between 1858 to 1873 is when the first smugglers appeared.
Alright, so it wasn't the Mafia per se, but...
Well, no, not at all. I mean, actually, at the beginning, the smugglers were one of the greatest things to happen to the city. I mean, the people that settled it didn't have a lot on their hands except for, iron and some other raw resources. The smugglers were bringing in, food and furs and stuff like that, that they would actually trade with the settlers.
Wasn't there heavy moonshiner presence there too?
Well, actually, those were the three main guilds that ended up starting in what would eventually be Neckbeard, Oregon. The smugglers, the moonshiners, and the iron miners.
All right, so it's all good in the prehistoric hood up until about 1880, right?
Well, yeah, that's when the fourth guild was funded by Gretchen Willstatter, who started the Seamstress Guild.
Why did you put air quotes up when you said seamstress? I think he's talking about prostitution. Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Right, so now you've got basically these mining tunnels which are being used to store the smuggling goods, and, the smugglers are smuggling out moonshine and smuggling in resources, and, a lot of people are moving into the city because of prostitution. Well,
I gotta say, man, if you've got sex and booze... I kind of want to move there myself.
Actually, I kind of want to move there too. Well, actually, a lot of people did. So many, in fact, that it created such a demand for prostitution that the smugglers started smuggling in a whole new type of cargo, sex slaves from Southeast Asia.
God damn it. Yeah, what a buzzkill.
Well, and a whole lot of the city felt the same way, but they were refusing to do something about it. Except for the Seamstress Guild, which actually funded an underground railroad in 1893.
It's kind of sad that a bunch of prostitutes in the late 1800s have to be the one to stick up for the little guy.
Well, but this all eventually came to a head in 1910, when the head of the Seamstress Guild, Virginia Capon, was actually assassinated by the smugglers. This resulted in a huge lynching, which ended up kicking out most of the human smugglers.
Of course, not all's well that ends well, right?
Not at all, because in the 1920s, prohibition started, right?
Much to the chagrin of the Moonshiners Guild, I'm assuming.
Well, actually, it had the effect of taking the Moonshiners Guild and the Smugglers Guild and putting them on the same team against the law enforcement entities in Doomtown, to the point where in 1923, there was this huge retaliation where they ended up actually setting fire to all the local police stations.
Which is something that we actually study in school here, the War for Doomtown between 1924 and 1928. Of course, the violence only lasted for about 3 months, but after that, there was martial law. Everything was completely messed up.
Well, actually, that everything got so messed up that the smugglers and the moonshiners had to band together and fund a new iteration of themselves, which is where the modern mafia actually gets its brand. Yeah, that works.
Well, and that's kind of when the Italian mob moved in, right?
Well, they were in a little bit earlier than that, but, now was the time for, the gentleman mafia to really kind of take a hold.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty passable Marlon Brando impression. Yeah, good job, bro.
Rawr. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this part of the Mafia. Next week, we'll actually get into Syndicate and Merger. and the business ventures that kind of led up to that.
Well, before we really wrap it up, I had a question for you. Who's Vance Walker? Actually, I was wondering that too.
Vance Walker was a mistake that I made, and it's not one that I'm going to be making again. So let's just leave it at that.
Oh, you can't just leave us on the hook like that. Come on, man. Who was he?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care before, but now I really care. Come on. No, look, trust me. It's better that we leave it alone, all right?
You realize that no one listening is going to accept that as an answer, right?
Look, Deuce, just trust me, okay? Just leave it.
All right, man. Gosh, lay off. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Well, anyways, you've been listening to White Noise. I'm Fox, that's Trigger, that's Ma Deuce, and y'all take care.
Oh God, man, please don't kill me. I wasn't planning on actually becoming the mayor. It was supposed to be a joke.
Shut your mouth, you insipid fool.
All right, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Just don't kill me.
It's very simple what you are going to do. You are going to read this script. You are then going to drop out of the mayoral race. You are then going to disappear. And if I ever see your stinking face again, I swear to God I'll...
Oh, don't you worry, man. Jorge Miguel will read that script, and then he will disappear so far you'll never have to see him again.
That's a good little hobo. Now start reading.
All right. My name is Jorge Miguel, and I'm dead now. I'm what?
I said start reading.
My name is Jorge Miguel, and I'm dead now because I cried.